And Imam Ghazali radiallahu anhu gives a very beautiful example in his Ulumuddin, in the 3rd chapter that I mentioned. He gives an example of a man who is chased by a lion. So he runs, the man runs and runs and runs until he ends up in a well. He falls down, but as he is about to fall down, he takes refuge by holding onto a rope. But the lion's hovering above, the brim of the well is looking down. But what he sees is, in that well, underneath he looks down, and there's a huge serpent, there's a huge snake waiting to devour him. And he looks up to the brim of the well and he sees 2 mice, a black and white mice. And they're nibbling on the top of the rope. So where is he? He is in a dark well. Underneath, below is a serpent, above is a lion, plus on the top of the rope, there's a white and black mouse nibbling the top of the rope, eating it. But when he looks in front of him, he sees a honeycomb, and drops of honey are falling into his mouth. So he keeps on eating this honey, and he forgets that there's a lion above him, there's a serpent underneath him, and there's mice nibbling the rope, which is his only refuge to save him from falling down. He's so engrossed in eating that honey, he's so engrossed in the apparent sweetness of the honey, he forgets that death is surrounding him. The serpent's down below him, the lion's above. So he then says, the lion is al-maut, death, that is chasing you constantly. The Prophet ﷺ said in one hadith, the angel of death stands at the door of every single person and gives a nida in the morning, gives a nida in the evening, calls upon the inmates of the house. He said, prepare, because if Allah gives me the order now, I will take away your soul right now. The rope is your life. 1 meter rope, 1.5 meter rope, 2 meter rope, 60 years, 70 years, 65 years, that's your life. But there's black and white mice at the top. What are they? They are the day and the night. They are cutting away your life. Your life is being eaten away. Every single second that is passing, that is ticking by, that's getting you closer and closer and closer to the grave. What is the serpent? The serpent is the grave in which you're going to rest. What is that honey? The honey is the dunya. We are eating that honey, forgetting death above us, forgetting the grave that we're going to end to, forgetting that the mice, the day and the night, they're going past, and our age is diminishing, our life is diminishing. We are going to end up in the grave without having prepared for the akhirah. Someone just thinks for a moment, seriously, what's our abode? Jannah, Akhirah. Think about it. All the problems, inshallah, will all go. Depression will go, sadness will go, sorrow will go, greed and all the disease, inshallah, will go. When you focus on the Akhirah, when you focus on the grave. Hazrat Sayyid Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, despite being given bishara of Jannah on more than one occasion, when he bought the well of Bir Ruma, and on the other occasion when he prepared the army in the Battle of Tabuk, the Prophet said, for you is Jannah. Nothing will happen to you, do whatever you want, basically. But he didn't do whatever he wanted. That increased him in becoming closer and closer and closer to it. That increased him in righteous deeds. He used to look at the grave and he used to weep so profusely. The companions mentioned that his entire beard would be soaking wet with his tears. And they would say to him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, what makes you cry so much, so profusely? Whereas the Prophet ﷺ, we have heard the Messenger ﷺ give you a guaranteed place in Jannah from the tongue of the Messenger ﷺ. He said the grave is the first manzil, the first stage from the stages of the Akhirah. If someone is successful here, he was successful thereafter, but he fails here, he fails badly thereafter. That's the dunya. Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam talking about this, the dunya. What is the dunya? What is the value of this dunya? Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam asked Sayyid Nuh alayhi salam. Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, just the years, the period which he spent doing tabligh, doing propagation of Islam to his people was 950 years. So you can imagine his age. Surpassed the age of 1,000. Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam asked him, what do you think about the life of this world? He said, it seemed as if I went through one door, came out the other. That's how short it is. We'll not even live for 1,000 years. 70, 80. And in that, until 70, we working 95 with robots. So what will we take to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So remember, be in this dunya, but make sure that your heart is always with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.